Hello, and welcome to those two gentlemen reviewing Under the Lake, the latest episode of this series of Doctor Who for this year. So this is the ninth series again. We'll start off with Sean. Your thoughts first this week, because we started off with mine last week.
I liked it, but I like the horror vibe. Use horror in the loosest definition of the word. It's Doctor Who.
It's sort
The
of,
kind of tension filled.
would thriller be a better word for it?
Yes. Trapped in the space you can't get out of. The old
Ghost.
trope. As they put it, the cabin in the woods thing, as they put it in the episode.
Yes, I quite like that little reference to it,
Yes.
actually.
Story. Everyone slowly gets picked off one by one, and the black guy was first.
Yes.
So
As soon as I saw him,
Gotta
I
go with
thought,
those tropes.
you have to go with him.
The black guy knows.
As soon as I saw him, I instantly thought,
He's dead.
he's not just that, I was thinking, he's a very well-known actor.
Yeah, he's so
It's Colin McFarlane, who's a very good actor, and I've seen him in loads of things. I was going, they wouldn't kill him off that easy.
He can lip sync like no one else. Or move his lips.
That's generally just incredible.
Yeah.
Because they're all in sync with each other. It's brilliant.
But yeah, I liked it. But I liked the whole horror thriller, shtick, and I liked it. Done. That was easy.
That was very quick for you. No, I liked it as well. I liked this week. It was very different than the previous ones we've had because this one just felt a lot more contained as well. It doesn't feel so much like a two-parter for some reason. I know we're still following on from it still, but this one doesn't feel so much like a cliffhanger. It's kind of the end of this part of the story. Because they're literally separating it not so much into two halves of this is all one big story. It is, I know. It's complicated. This is almost a self-contained bit because you've got the Doctor. I'll quickly say now again for those who might be watching this. Spoilers now. If you're watching a review though, you should know already. You're going to get spoilers for it. With the Doctor leaving, with the Doctor leaving at the end to go off back in time to work out how this happened in the first place. It almost feels like it's the end of that part of the story. It's like it's the next chapter. So it feels like a two-parter without it being. It doesn't feel so much like a two-parter, whilst it is a two-parter because of the way they've done this one, which is quite different than other ones. They've never had it's called that leap back in time to set. It feels like very two separate stories that we know are linked. What I didn't realise though is the alien, the
Ghosts.
No, the alien ghost. The Tivolian. He's the same race that David Williams was in the God Complex. He's the same race, which was also written by Toby Whithouse. Do you know who he's played by?
Who?
Paul Kay.
Really?
Yeah. Do you need a bit of just a moment to look up who Paul Kay is?
I currently am.
Right, you'll know him when you see him. I didn't realise that though, which is actually the first time they've had like a big name actor who's making a guest role in it. That he's actually had a part with no lines at the moment.
Lying, he's just not saying it.
Yeah, but even then, you wouldn't recognise him under the amount
no.
of prosthetics and obviously the effects they've got on it as well. But I like this episode. Again, it was had this nice threatening episode. It's kind of, like you said, it's the whole trapped in a place, an enemy we don't quite fully understand yet. And parts of that were really. It wasn't your whole typical they're out to kill us, as we saw with that moment that someone was nearly killed and wasn't. They stopped for some reason. We will no doubt discover why that happened.
In the next series.
Probably eventually, knowing Moffat.
Stephen Moffat. It's Moffat, isn't there? Nothing happens in this series that will be related. Start answering questions from 4 series ago.
But I liked this episode again. It was. I can't really have much in the way of negatives for it.
No, I liked everyone. I didn't want to punch anyone in the face. Except for the guy who died from drowning. Forgotten his name. The corporate guy. Corporate guy. I've forgotten his name. They all have literally numbers in their names.
I think that was Pritchard.
Oh yeah, because Clara said Pritchard every single time, and that really annoyed me.
But no, I think all the supporting characters actually had quite defined. They were defined as well. They weren't just kind of generic number one, generic number two. They all had their own personalities.
You've got the coward. You've got the leader who doesn't want to see the crew get killed.
They're kind of generic in that way, but there's just enough to them just to flesh it out a little bit. So they're not kind of just like supporting, which is quite nice actually. I quite like the Commander.
Oh, the Deaf. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I can't remember any of their names. I'll go by their traits.
Yeah.
The Deaf one.
The Deaf.
I like it.
I liked her. I thought that was a very interesting thing.
I don't know if that's actually real signing or not.
I think it would be. I think it would have to be deaf.
People who can read sign language get what she's saying before everyone else does.
Yes.
Understand what she's saying.
No, I like that though.
Yeah, I like her.
That was something I don't think we've had in a particular episode before because this.
Someone signing, I can't remember.
Not for a. Is it possible to have a major supporting character?
Yeah, not.
But I think I'd classed her as that in that way because obviously she's stuck on the base still, isn't she? Yeah, she was stuck on the base at the end with the signer and Clara. I almost saw that twist just before it happened.
Well, I assumed Clara was going to get left behind.
No, I mean who the ghost would be.
Oh. Yeah, at the moment that happens. And,
you can't see there's another ghost.
You
have a... Well, it could have gone a number of ways. Part of me's going...
Davros, why are you back? And
I was going, it's going to be one of the three. Don't know quite which one. When I saw Clara's reaction, I go, I know exactly who that is now because Clara's having the strongest reaction to it.
Danny!
Yeah, he's a ghost. He's back.
He's back. Cyber ghost.
I quite liked that moment the Doctor and Clara had actually as well in the TARDIS, the kind of you're going native.
Yeah.
Because it's very right, because it was almost... A part of me was going, Clara's too into this. She's kind of not really accepting the gravity of the situation and the seriousness, which the Doctor was. It's kind of... We saw bits of that in last series, though, as well.
Mm-hmm.
So going off on things and not really caring about it. And her, as we said, she would make a brilliant Doctor. Which is not a good quality to have in a person.
No.
And I'm beginning to see that coming through a bit more again, which is why she needs that tether to, like the Doctor said, you need a hobby, you need a relationship. She needs that tether. Because otherwise she's kind of just lost out there in this storm of her own creation, but that will end up... I think it's safe. I'm going to make a prediction now on how Clara will end up leaving.
Last series when she should have left, when she had the perfect ending.
Yes, and then
they very quickly changed it.
It was Janet Coleman. I don't know if it was her changing her mind or Moffat.
The paycheck changed her mind.
That wouldn't change. That would stay high anyway. I know that Moffat and Capaldi tried to convince her to stay on for another series after this, but she just said no.
She wants to go.
Yeah.
No one wants to do the same thing all the time.
Yeah, that's the very reason you get a lot of people in generally long-standing stuff. That's why David Tennant said he had to leave when he did. Otherwise, he would.
One, you get typecast, and two,
you would find don't want to leave.
Yeah.
And I can imagine Doctor Who's a program that.
Even Doctor, you can always come back again.
Yeah, it's true, but it's one of those things that you know the show so well, you get to know everyone. It's generally like with any TV series, I suppose. It's kind of the whole. You don't want it to end, and it's very difficult to leave.
I'll just get bored.
Or that. I like to think they generally don't because.
Well, if you do the same thing over and over again, you're eventually gonna.
Eventually, you will.
Want to at least try something different. You may come back to it. Just
But I'm going to make a prediction that she might get killed.
Probably. It is Moffat.
Probably die.
It's a horrific.
Which would.
Get head blown off by a Cyberman.
I don't think it'll be that.
There's no Cyberman even in this series.
That we know of.
We didn't know Davros was in the series.
Yeah, that's true. We didn't know, actually.
We knew the Daleks were. We didn't know Davros.
We knew the Daleks were. We didn't know Davros was going to be. But no, I'm making the prediction that something's going to happen. She's probably going to end up dying, either being killed or sacrificing herself. I don't know yet. But I'm making that prediction just based on the whole she's being a bit gun-ho, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And it would almost fit her character kind of thing, because usually what they have is characters making that transition from who they were to what they were at the end. It's a character development kind of thing. Clara's there to save the Doctor. She was born to save the Doctor. Mm-hmm. Meaning her last act will probably be something to save the Doctor that does result in her death. Fits the whole character.
Why do you even need Stephen Moffat? Anyone can do this.
Well, one day we'll end up doing it. We've said it before. We'll end up running comics and that.
Tired of DC editorial, but
that's another matter. That's another video.
Personal. That's personal.
Yeah, you're taking that. I'm taking Transformers.
Feel free. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like this episode. It's very interesting where it's going. I do want to see where it goes next week. The trailer at the end gave nothing away. So lovely cutscenes, which shows some lovely scenes and lots of questions about what's going to happen. At the same time, no clue quite where the plot's going.
Now, if movie trailers could learn to do that, we might. Yeah.
Yeah, gives nothing away. No idea what's going to happen. At various points, there's no content to the plot other than the Doctor is somehow back as a ghost, and he frees the other ghosts, and it's all that kind of thing. Oh, it just looks very interesting next week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm intrigued. It's one of those things. It's not so much a cliffhanger, but I just want to see. It is a cliffhanger, I suppose.
It is a cliffhanger.
But it's one. It's not the kind of oh, come on, just get it over with. It's kind of that. I want to see where this goes because it's got lots of. You've answered questions, but you've left other questions unanswered. It's kind of a Prometheus ending for me. To use the analogy of, for those who've not seen it, you go with questions.
The title of the next one.
What is it?
Well, fuck, yeah, stupid title.
Anyway, just to quickly carry on with my analogy. For those who've not seen it, you go with questions and you leave with different questions. So you answer the questions that you had to begin with, not all of them, but most of them, and then you leave with very different questions afterwards. So it felt a bit like that this episode.
Like, where's the xenomorph? I don't care about any of these people. And
does appear at the end. Sort of.
Kind of. And
it's bloody complicated, that bloody film.
He has said they will interpret Ridley Scott eventually.
Yes.
Meet up. Eventually.
No, but this one I thought answered question. I don't know. I can't see any negative points. I like the little references to things like Peter Andre, Mysterious Girl, and the radio thing.
Yeah. Oh, we've forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
We need the mum opinion of the week.
I have it all ready for you.
Yes.
Her first words to me when I called her was, "Could you hear me shouting?" I said, "No, what were you shouting?" He says, "No, she hates two-parters."
So do I.
She hates them because she can't stand the tension.
I hate them because it depends how long the gap is between the two parts. A week I can stand.
Yeah,
because this one can fuck off. And
this one didn't feel so much. This one just reminded me of kind of the long-standing quests. Do you know, like the whole key for time thing? It felt to me like a bit more like that because the whole Doctor's going away for a bit to solve this thing. It wasn't so much a two-parter in that way, just because of the way they've broken up, literally with travelling forwards to a different location in the TARDIS in the same plot. But my mum liked this episode. She thinks she likes it better than the Daleks one, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Just because she likes the suspense as well.
Yeah. So
generally, we're all in agreement on the case of we like this episode. Though nothing any of us disagreed with or didn't like in it, I don't think.
I think that made me want to punch whoever was closest to me.
I enjoyed the episode. Next week's going to be interesting. Because the main villain is voiced by Peter Serafinovich.
Heard of him.
He used to have a show on the BBC comedy one.
Yeah.
Which was the Peter Serafinovich show.
Yeah.
He's a very good actor, and he does a lot of voice acting. That's what he's known for, particularly impressions. And he's the voice for the Fisher King, who's the main villain for next week. And we've seen images of that in the series trailers before.
Yeah.
You can see a picture of it on the wiki page, on the Wikipedia page for it. It's very interesting. I have no idea where it's going to go.
No.
But I'm intrigued. But at the same time, we've got a rough idea where the plot's going. It wasn't like
it looks like a predator that got decomposed.
Yeah, it really does, doesn't it?
Dreads? Is that a dread? Oh, it's a thing.
It looks like a cross between that and a bit of the Sycorax, actually. I saw it as well. But it's really going for that horror, scary stuff.
As much as you can get away with the Saturday night if you want.
Yes, very true.
No one's got their face burned off yet.
Not yet.
The
series is young.
It's like Clara Leaves. Her face gets eaten off by I don't know, something.
Stop it. They've got a lot of references, actually, to like horror stuff, because you had the reference to Alien in Last Christmas, didn't you?
Yes.
Oh, with the whole facehuggers bit. The dream crabs.
Which just sounds like some weird STD.
Yeah.
Have dream crabs. Really?
Very sorry, we've got some ointment for that. No, I like this. I'm going to keep saying that. I know it sounds So, but we don't have anything negative to say. I enjoyed the episode. It had me intrigued. It kept me running along. I want to see where it's going and how it all resolves, because at the same time, it's got lots of... We still don't know really what's causing it. Well, we know, but we don't have the answers for why. It's like we know the what, but not the why yet. So we don't know the motives. Or how it's going to be resolved as well, which is the other big question.
So next week.
Yeah, looks interesting. Gives nothing away for the plot. Don't know where it's going to go. Don't even know what time it's on next week, actually. Is it on late?
I have no idea.
We'll be next... We know it's next Saturday night, though. We know that much.
Know that much.
Unless they change it before then. Unless a major calamity happens that night.
Friday evening. Mess with everyone.
No, but it looks intriguing. I do want to see where it's going to end off. Do you want to offer some thoughts on it as well? Because otherwise I'm just going to keep repeating that we liked it.
I've said all I want to say. I liked it. Good tension. Good pacing. Some funny moments. Some serious moments. Some scary, term loosely.
Some moments of character development and the relationship between. Generally, it was another. We've had that virtually every episode. We had that last time as well, though. With the when you consider the whole two-parter, we had moments like that.
That's the problem with this episode. Is the first part of the story. We can't do too much for opinions. We don't know how it ends.
No, which is what the case a lot of them are. I think our very first one was kind of it's back. What do we think of it? There's not much we can offer.
The ending could be a complete Deus Ex Machina for all we know, and we could shift in it for weeks.
I'm hoping it's not, because actually this series has been quite good for. I say so far. We've only had 3 episodes. But
3 episodes.
But generally, this series has been quite good for episodes, for the writing.
Been alright.
Because when we had the last series, writing was a bit hit and miss. Because we had Deep Breath, which was Capaldi's first episode.
Flatline in one we both really liked.
Flatline was at the end, though. The first 3 episodes we had... the first 3 episodes of the last series, it was...
Dinosaur.
Deep Breath, which was the first one, which was Victoria London, he's just regenerated.
T-Rex, for some reason.
Yep. Then it was followed by Into the Dalek, so we had Daleks in the second episode of the last series as well.
And then literally into the Dalek, which sounds like some weird fan fiction.
We kind of liked, but we weren't firmly keen on, if memory serves. It was kind of a middling ground. Then you had the Robin Hood one that we both generally agreed the only thing I can remember really liking about Ben Miller was the only thing we liked about that episode, because
not quite Alan Rickman, but getting there.
I like him as an actor generally, and I kept thinking he would make a brilliant master. I would have loved to see him play the master, because he looked like it with the hair
beard, that's what you need.
And the long hair as well. The whole thing was just brilliant. No, but this one's been quite good for writing, mostly because, I suppose it's because you had Moffat for a long story, for a series, and we got Toby Whithouse for this one, who writes a couple episodes. He's written a few, not loads, but generally his episodes have always been very good ones as well. I think the Mark Gatiss, just quickly talk about the rest of the series, the Mark Gatiss one is being done via, the way they're doing the episode is it's found footage. So it's in the style of, what's that horror? Is it Cloverfield or something like that?
Cloverfield, Blair Witch Project.
It's been done in that
most things that come out these days, which is why I groaned heavily when you mentioned that.
Yeah, I had a feeling. I think that one's been done in found footage style, which fits his kind of horror style, because they tend to be horror ones. Then again, this whole series might end up being quite kind of, not dark to use a cliche, but kind of horror-esque, grim. A slightly... yes,
atmospheric.
Tense and atmospheric. We'll go with that.
It's a joke, because most of them are in space.
But I think that's what Moffat said. He said, we'll make you laugh, but then we take you to very dark places after the laughter. Which seems to be quite accurate, actually, because the laughs are quite good in this, and then you do go to very dark places quite quickly. This series generally has to be a slightly... on that lovely grey moral spectrum the Doctor Who seems to go through, because there's never happy days here again. It always veers a little bit on the grey sort of side. It's veering a bit more to the darker side of that. Which is quite nice, actually, because that seems to fit Capaldi's Doctor as well. Because he has moments of that mania brilliance, but at the same time it's kind of that... It's in the midst of this horror and awful stuff that's going on. I did quite like the cards.
Yes.
I missed the one that mentioned... I saw it had Aberdeen on it, but they went by too quickly for me to see what they probably said.
Pause on iPlayer.
I'm going to I will rewatch them. I will rewatch it to see what all those cards say, just because one of them was like... I apologise. I'm very sorry for causing this. One of them was something to do with Aberdeen. I don't know what it was.
I would just have someone say, if you're reading this, you are a nerd. I might be like, I see it there.
Very clever.
Just like...
I wouldn't put it past them. No, it'll be interesting to see where next week's goes and what they've got planned for it, and how all the rest of it is how it all is going to connect together. Yeah. So I think that pretty much concludes us for this week, unless you want to have anything else to offer.
No, I have nothing I haven't already said or has been said. We'll leave it there for next week.
Yeah, we'll leave it there for next week, which is before the flood.
So we're going back in time to see what.
Yeah, we're going back. Well, the Doctor's going back in time. Where we got Clara still in
present, future.
Well, in the current time.
It's relative.
It's relative. It's all relative. Yes. So the Doctor's travelling back to before the village, just before the village was flooded, and Clara is stuck on the base, and where we left her this week.
Where we left, looking out the window.
Yeah, looking out the window to the sight of the now ghostly Doctor.